And welcome back to Real Ag Radio here on Rural Radio 147. It is the Farmer Rapid Fire today, which is brought to you by Corteva Agriscience. And we're joined right now by Jason Smith. He is the Portfolio Marketing Manager for Herbicides on the Broad Acre in Western Canada, I should say. Hey, Jason, how's it going?
Very good, Sean. Very good. Thanks. Happy to be here.
Hey, so it feels like we're kind of close to spring, like we're middle of March, but I don't know. I'm in Grand Prairie, Alberta today. Does not feel like we're close to spring. It's like minus 15, minus 14, snow on the ground. And I know where you are in Saskatchewan, kind of the same thing.
Yeah. It's cooled off a little bit. We had that early onset of spring that kind of got everybody excited, but it's backed off a little bit and cooled off. But always a good reminder early March that, hey, spring is coming again this year and time to start to get some of those plans in place and, get that cropping plan and the herbicide plan in place, because it'll be upon us pretty quick.
Yeah, I think that, a lot of times when we think about spring planning, we a lot of times talk about, seed and fert and having everything lined up and the machinery ready. But having a herbicide plan is not a bad idea too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Some of it's just knowing what you're going to do. The other piece, I think, is just making sure that you've got what you need either on your farm or in your retail location when you need it, right? Because as we know, it can go from, hey, we're not spraying to we need to spray the whole farm in a matter of days, right? And once the weeds start to grow, we want to get on top of them.
So what's the best way to plan for that? Because, you and I grew up at a time, long time ago. Well, not that long ago, but we're getting a little bit older, Jay. But you used to just walk up to the retail and say, hey, I was out scouting this morning and I have this, this, and this. What should I spray? And then they would go to the shed and they would put the boxes on the truck and you would drive back to the sprayer. We can't really operate that way anymore. Things are a lot more, we're buying things a little bit more in bulk. We've got issues with logistics. COVID taught us all about that. So how do we plan in today's world of making sure we got what we need?
So, I think one of the things that I go back to, even the days when I was in the field as a TM, there's not many customers that don't know what they got for weeds in the field, right? They go over those fields in a lot of cases 4 or 5 times a year. There are not a lot of surprises. They got a good idea what's there. So I think it's very much around having that conversation, making sure you got what you need in place at the retail. And it's really picking the product or products that are going to give you the broadest range of weed control options. That the ease of use flexibility is important. And then just knowing that, hey, you've got them there so you can get control of those weeds. Because we know that, as competitive as crops like cereals can be, it's not good to have weeds there. Anytime that we can get the crop up and out of the ground, a leaf stage or 2 or even 3 ahead of the weeds, that's when we know we're going to grow our best crop. And, Corteva's got a couple dynamite options for pre-seed that really help customers get a leg up on those as we're starting to plant those cereal crops.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other part about that too is also added now what we didn't have to deal with when we were younger guys, roaring around was herbicide resistance. And now that we're having to plan out, the herbicide layering and the rotation, you got to plan your groups out, right? And so you kind of got to be ahead of that before springtime. One of the things I wanted to ask you about before we end is talking about Extinguish XL. Talk about that. What is that product?
Yeah, so Extinguish XL is a product that we launched late last year. It's a new product that's really brings a lot to the table in that value piece from a standpoint. Hey, price point wise, it's very competitive, but it's also very competitive in the standpoint of, hey, it brings a real broad spectrum of weeds to the table. You've got that group of what I call the usual suspects, right? The kind of stuff that's on pretty much every farm in Western Canada. Things like flaxweed, lamb's quarter, red root pig, stinkweed, buckwheat, those types of weeds that are everywhere. Rock solid control and that sort of stuff, but it also brings that tougher to kill piece or that tougher to kill group of weeds, things that I would quantify as, say, cleavers, narrowleaf hawksbeard, roundleaf mallow. That was an oldie but a goodie in my old territory. And then storksbill as well, real big weed in a lot of areas in Alberta. And then it also gives you a little bit of that suppressional piece on that perennial broadleaf piece, or some of the longer lived annual type weeds, like say a chamomile, Canada thistle, perennial sow thistle for the perennial broadleaf. So it's really a robust nice all-in-one formulation. We've got it in cases and in drums. That's new for this year. And it's an EC formulation that mixes nicely with those graminicide partners that customers want to do. And hey, talk to us about how do we pair it up with Simplicity for that real full meal deal weed control piece for guys for this year on the wheat.
Simplicity still going.
Oh, Simplicity's going strong, Sean. So yeah, no, we're good. I think we're gonna have a great run on Simplicity. Wheat's, again, there's more and more Group 1 resistance coming up. You talk about that resistance piece. Simplicity's a rock solid solution for that. And we have all kinds of demand for Simplicity this year. So yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna have a fabulous year in Simplicity.
Oh, great stuff. Hey, Jason, thanks a lot for joining us here today. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Sean.
Of course, big shout out as well to Corteva Agriscience for being the sponsor of the Farmer Rapid Fire.